Hello, my name is Rich Howard, owner of Architectural Builders Supply. This video is to bring you a closer look at the Arrow. This is their part number RC62 in a 91L Keyway in a 32D finish, or 626. I asked for satin chrome. I think they ship stainless steel. That's okay. That's not going to cause us too much trouble. Here's what this rim cylinder looks like. Solid brass construction from Arrow. I'm actually thinking that this might be manufactured by one of Arrow's sister companies, is what I'm thinking. I don't know that for sure, but I suspect that that's the case. A couple of original keys. I ordered these O-bitted. They did ship what I would think would be one-bitted, which would be okay as well. A zero, I don't know what a zero cut is on Arrow. It might be this, or it might be no cuts at all. This is certainly cut to the shallowest depth. And the reason you would order something, forgive me, O-bitted or maybe one-bitted like this, meaning it's cut to all zeros, is that you're going to rekey it. So rather than order cylinders that are randomly keyed, order them O-bitted, and that will allow you to get a cylinder, since you're going to rekey it anyway, two keys that you're going to be able to recut is the bottom line. Okay, this is a 91L is the factory original part number for this key blank. I believe it even says 91L on it. Actually, no, it says 71L, and I think the difference there, yeah, I'll tell you. I think the difference there is the bow. The 91L is that, that 91L is that larger trapezoid-shaped Arrow key blank that you would, like their large bow is what you'd end up seeing. So this is a 71L, and that means it's got the standard Arrow bow key blank, what you'd usually see on a 5-pin lock or a 6-pin lock, and this is indeed 6. Yeah, so this is definitely going to be a 71L key blank. Nice smooth construction because of the fact that it is a rim cylinder. Now, what would you use a rim cylinder for? Let's talk about that right now. If you are enjoying this video, please click thumbs up or like, and also please consider subscribing to our channel. Let's move on to the rest of the video. Now, what is a rim cylinder used for? A rim cylinder is a very generic piece of locking hardware that allows you to have key access over generally what's referred to as a rim lock. Around the perimeter of the door, you'll install a lock like a deadbolt, like a Siegel deadbolt, or a night latch made by countless people. I don't think Arrow makes any rim locks like that. They may have in their history of several decades. I'm quite sure that they currently don't make any rim locks. But Arrow's sister company, Yale, makes rim locks. But rim cylinders can be used in other applications, like as an alarm bypass or a cylinder on the opposite side of an exit device. Anywhere where you're going to want to control something via a flat bar tailpiece like this, along with its cylinder collar and its spring. Okay. That's typical to install it like this because you want to protect the head of the cylinder where you are looking to deter an attack to the head of the cylinder to get that to spin it off. That cylinder collar will just turn. So if you can protect the head of the cylinder that way, that's beneficial. This will also include the mounting plate and the 2 screws that you would need. You would drill an 1.25 inch diameter hole through the door at whatever the proper backset and vertical location would need to be for the application if you're installing it through a door, and it would be held together. This plate would go on the inside of the door, the screws would go through, and they would run right into these drilled and tapped holes on the backside here. Okay, you can tell that this has also been tapped. That this has also had a die run onto it. The threads have been created. They probably obviously they're doing some step of the manufacturing process that this can become a mortise cylinder as well. I don't know why you would necessarily need that. There might be an application where you don't have the ability to drill through the door and hold it on with the screws. You might need a cash nut ring to secure it into something and have the tailpiece that you probably would cut short. I could imagine that it's possible for some sort of an alarm bypass to require that. Maybe Arrow's got a need to have rim cylinders that are tapped. And by the way, that would be with the threads cut, not tapped. That would be a 1 in 5/32 diameter, 32 threads per inch is what that is. Okay, so that covers the tour of the items that come in the box. Let's take a look at the supporting information. If you are enjoying this video, please click thumbs up or like, and also please consider subscribing to our channel. Let's move on to the rest of the video. Okay, this is the item that we are looking at. Let's take a look at the photographs that we have posted down below. That's everything in the box. There's your cylinder. We'll take a look at it now from multiple angles. There's a close-up of the broaching of the cylinder plug showing the L keyway. Because that first pin is so short, you can see the split between the driver pin and the bottom pin. And indeed, that's called split pin, is what this is called. It's referred to split pin master keying if you're doing that sort of locksmithing. A reasonably paracentric keyway, where features of the keyway project to or past the vertical center line. This doesn't appear to exactly do that, but it certainly approaches it. This feature to the what's left from the cylinder broaching definitely gets past the center line. It's a security sort of feature to cylinders and the way they're broached. There's a side view showing the back side of it with a C-clip retainer. You pull that pop that C-clip off and your tailpiece will come off. If you're going to cut that down, I'd recommend removing it from the cylinder. Your accessories, your mounting accessories, and then your two original key blanks. 71L, that means it's a standard bow 6-pin L keyway. Okay. There we go. Now there's a link below this video to the cut sheet. Not much to see here, unfortunately, and that is unfortunately how Arrow has been the last couple of decades. I really wish I worked in the hardware industry in the 1970s and 80s, and I knew enough to save all of the catalogs from Arrow, because today there's not much available. There's not much printed information available about any of the Arrow keyways in particular. It's a limiting factor to not be able to do research on what's available or what sort of keyways are available. You know, they say on the rim cylinders, they don't even have RC on this at all as a part number. I'm sure it's referred to in the price list, but they say a keyway is standard, but Arrow sectional keyways are available. But nowhere do they have available published documentation. What are those sectional keyways? I do, however, think that I have something. I obtained something from someone. Arrow keyway sections. Okay, I do have something. And this is part of the mystery with Arrow, and I've spoken to their key records department, or their master keying department, which I believe is Medico, and they've basically, it seemed like they were inferring that they simply don't have access to the information because it doesn't exist. So this L keyway is under this System 71. Well, I know that a Kaba Ilco A1179L is a 91L key blank by Arrow, but I've got the price list open here, and sectional keyway standard bow, they call it a K671 by L, but my key blank is clearly stamped 71L. So that would make sense if it was a System 71L, but then the question becomes is how do I order the large bow with these cylinders? I'm thinking it's 91L, because that's the cross-reference in the Kaba Ilco catalog. A lot of guesswork, and because I don't spend all day doing locksmithing, I don't possess intimate, immediate knowledge of the history of Arrow. I really wish I had access to that data. Anyway, so the point I'm driving at is I believe this Keyway section is just a single page. There must be more. I would imagine there's more than just this. Arrow's been in business for decades. I would think they've got more than 2, multiplex structures. I would think that they do. Anyway, let's move on. Finishes. US 3, US 4, polished brass, satin brass, satin bronze, oil rub bronze, polished stainless, satin stainless. Okay, there you go. Now, on that manufacturer's page, you can view not only all of the Arrow products that we sell by means of this horizontal navigation, but also a link to the manufacturer's website, and then the full product catalog. Unfortunately, the full product catalog doesn't give us much in the way of detailed part numbers on many items. I don't know what the history of Arrow is going to be. I quite frankly, I wouldn't be surprised if Arrow wasn't a lock company in 10 years. And I only say that because, as I had said initially, I think someone else makes this cylinder for them. And Assa Abloy's sister companies to Arrow are Corbin Russwin, Yale, Sargent, Medico. They might just stop making this material and have someone like Yale do it and offer different keyways. It's pure speculation. But there's a lot of duplication. Now, Arrow is a real popular brand in major older cities, New York, Chicago. There's a lot of Arrow in those places. That's to be sure. And Arrow is very much known for small format interchangeable core. Door closers, exit devices, lock sets, cylinders. It's going to be in the Arrow catalog. There you go. Okay, let's wrap up this video on camera. If you are enjoying this video, please click thumbs up or like, and also please consider subscribing to our channel. Let's move on to the rest of the video. In conclusion, I was quite happy to be able to determine that the L keyway was the right keyway for my client. My client is, I'll say that my client is a supplier to a military contractor in Canada, is what I'll say. And they have this keyway that they know is a Dominion keyway, and they just need cylinders for that stuff and couldn't figure out any history of the keyway itself. They actually mailed me the Kaba Ilko A1179L, and I was able to get that identified and order the cylinders. And while Arrow sent them out in the typical standard Arrow keyway, the A keyway, initially, they did get it right the second time in the sense that they got the keyway right, even though they sent 71L bow keys. I wanted 91L. I wanted the large bow Arrow, but that won't be a problem for this client. They're literally going to rekey all of this material. Any questions on the RC62 rim cylinder and an L keyway by Arrow or any other Arrow product, please feel free to reach out to us. And thank you. Again, thank you for watching, and if you've enjoyed this video, please click thumbs up, please subscribe, and maybe even send the video to someone that you know. Thank you.